And we're live! Welcome to the stream, everyone. It's been a little while. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. This is Angela R. Sasser, fantasy artist, mask maker, and Jill of all trades. I'm working on some sketches today for my Patreon patrons. Every month, I like to get together on the stream and show you all what I've been working on for my sketch collectors who have pledged for quickie sketches. And this month, the first of these sketches I'll be working on is a dual portrait here of May the Monk and Nansad, hopefully I said her name right, the Druid. And I actually got a request from two different people who were gifting pictures to each other, and then I thought, hey, why don't I put them all in one epic picture? So that's what I'm doing with them this month. May is Nensad's guardian protector, so I thought it'd be cool to show them together. And they're also really badass characters and lovers, so it's pretty awesome to be able to draw them in one piece. So here are their references up on the left, and here we have the gesture sketch that I did of them. This was to help define the poses and get the energy of the poses out. And I wasn't really concerned too much about anatomy for this. I just really wanted to get the idea out and get the clothing in at least somewhat the right place. So now I'm gonna give myself 2 hours. Usually I only give myself 1. Since we have 2 characters in this, I'm gonna set my timer at 2 hours and see where I can get with this. So, gonna do that now. Oh, and for those who don't know me, you should definitely check out my art at angelasasser.com. I put a link up in the chat. I do fantasy art, I do Art Nouveau. There's a lot of cool stuff for everybody over there. And I actually have a holiday sale going on right now. Or actually a holiday event where a lot of my seasonal Christmas art is up in my shop. So definitely check that out. That's over at Angelic Shades for those who like my Art Nouveau stuff. But today I'm working in the fantasy realm, which is one of my favorite realms to play in. So anyways, let's draw. I'm gonna put my timer on. And we're going! So now I'm just gonna block in. I like to work in grayscale on these, so I'm just gonna block in the main shapes. And if you have any questions, just feel free to throw them in the chat and I'll answer them when I look up. Let me actually label my layers, which I didn't when I was drawing really quickly yesterday. Bad habit of mine. I love this new color wheel that's in the update of Photoshop. It's very handy. Alright, so let's start with May. Actually, let's start with this background. Get something other than a blaring white in the back. And for doing this block in, I like to use a hard brush, hard brown brush set to pressure opacity. to pin pressure opacity because it's just easier to block in. You can even use a lasso tool, which would get you more precise edges. Yeah, I had a pretty cool Thanksgiving. We went to my brother-in-law's place, and it was hilarious because he was cooking a turkey for the first time. So he went to the YouTube school of how to cook turkeys and was watching things you shouldn't do, like don't cook a turkey on a wood deck because the oil might splash over and set your deck on fire. So we were cooking out in the driveway, and everyone's like, when do you put it in? When do we take it out? And we were just all standing around the turkey trying to figure it out. But it came out good. Nobody was set on fire. So, successful Thanksgiving. And we made cheesecake, and that was so good. We had chocolate chip cheesecake and pumpkin cheesecake, which is my favorite. Okay, let me not forget to label. I also got to play in another D&D game, so that was a lot of fun. I tried out a Blood Hunter for the first time. And it's such an edgy class. It's so edgy, like, I cut myself to make my cursed powers upon my enemy. And it's just so edgelord, but I kind of enjoyed it. Because I made this character who's like, he's a priest of Karamfor, who's the god of death. So he's more about preventing people from dying before their time. And it kind of a darker side of life, but a more positive attitude, which is I thought was kind of fun. So I'm actually really enjoying making up new stories for this guy. And I'm sure I'll draw him at some point, just because I like the imagery associated with him. He's got white hair and gray eyes and looks really sleepy all the time. And his scars are more like tattoos. So, yep. I have that new character glow. So I can't wait to draw him for the first time, and also buy a new set of dice, because each character must have their own set of dice, of course. So I'm thinking of the perfect set of dice. He's a ghost slayer, so probably like something bone themed. I've been thinking about getting some like fake ivory looking ones, like aged bone, and then painting the numbers red with like glow in the dark red, or maybe just plain metallic red. Still thinking about it. I don't know if that would throw off the weight of the dice or not, but it sounds fun to me. Any excuse to get more dice. But yeah, I've really been enjoying drawing in grayscale because it's nice to practice and think more about value scale, value grouping, and all that instead of getting too distracted by color. So it's been nice to focus on honing my eye for values and also lighting. There's another reason I like to put everything on separate layers so I can sit here and tweak. Because I want her wrappings to be lighter than her skin. But then the background is too close to her skin, so then I can go and tweak that and not have to worry about it. I get to control all the things. The power. Being mainly a watercolorist, this has been like so nice. It's been so nice to be able to change this stuff, because when you mess up in watercolor, it's like you're done. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna put it in the trash can. Or you just make happy little mistakes. The downside is now I want to perfect everything. And that's bad because you will spend way too much time sometimes in digital. Like, people are like, oh, it's faster. Ugh. In my experience as a watercolorist, a traditional artist, because I've also worked in ink and color pencil as well, is that when you do traditional, you lose control and you just have to accept that there's a factor of randomization in what you're doing. But when you're doing things digitally, you can control it down to the pixel. And that means if you don't know how to control yourself, you'll sit there and tweak everything. Which is a bad habit I fell into when I first started out with digital a few years back. I still don't really consider myself a digital artist. I just don't feel good enough at it yet to say that is what I do. But still learning, still trying to teach myself how to do this and get consistent results each time. I swear, I do things a different way almost every time I paint. Pants, she needs pants. On the wrong layer. Oh, and hooray! I finally finished a picture of my own character. After like almost 2 years of role-playing her, I finally finished drawing a picture of my tiefling warlock. So hooray for milestones! I've been so busy with other things that I haven't really had a chance to even draw my own people, so that's always a satisfying feeling. Finally get to draw and finish your first character piece. Alright, I think that's good for maze blocking. Time for an unsad. I do love how she has the white eyes. It really gives her striking eyes in comparison to the rest of her palette. I think she has darker skin than May. I really gotta clean up these, like, lazy flipper hands I did too. Not lazy, quick, I should say. I was really just trying to get my ideas down quickly. Because when you don't have a lot of time, it's good to not get yourself too caught up in the details so you can enjoy the energy of a piece and make the best use of your time. I'm really, really liking how May's pose came out. She looks awesome. They both look cool, but I think May is stealing the show a little bit. Oh, grief. Excuse me. The only thing about winter here in Georgia... Uh-oh, Photoshop, what you doing? Are you frozen? Control S, Control S! Okay. Whew. It's about to freak. Don't do that to me, Photoshop. But yeah, what was I saying? Winter, Georgia. It sucks. It's humid and cold and gross. And, it's getting dark so early. I just want to go to my nest of blankets and books and do nothing for most of the evening. There was like maybe 2 weeks of autumn there. My free trial of autumn has expired. I do love Nanside's hair. It's flowy and awesome. And as I've said in other streams, I love characters with long hair because they fill up backgrounds. They fill up backgrounds in interesting ways, and you can always lead the composition flow with their hair, which is always handy. But who needs a background when you've got flowing, luxurious locks? It's way cooler than a background, right? And right now the hair is just simple block-in, but I'll come and loosen this up with more delicate strokes later. That's just a simple block-in to get the main flow of the hair down. see, I had a different idea about her Morrigan necklace this time. So I wanted her to have an element that flowed out and kind of got this diagonal flow to her hand, pointing to her hand here. So I changed it up from a choker to a longer pendant necklace, but I still feel like she could use some kind of cool beads here. Maybe like a more knotwork, something handmade perhaps. And then also she's got feather earrings here. I think I like the feather earrings enough to stick with them, and so did the player. Except it looks like a feather is coming out of her mouth. I might not show that far off feather because it looks weird. Looks a little weird. I'm gonna leave it out for now. Alright, so that's the block in. And now, let's see, where are we on time? And we still got an hour and 40 minutes? Woo! So I can get into some sweet, sweet details. So I was debating experimenting again, this time with being brave. I'm gonna be brave and take all these flats and actually combine them. But also keep the original layers saved just in case I need to select, like, isolate the skin. But I'm gonna go ahead and combine them. So there's a full flat layer of the base on top of the isolated layers. So I could sit here and work with them if I want, but it's easier to draw on top of this layer when they're all one. When they're all one layer. I wanted to come back and refine some of this line work. So I can eventually drop out that other sketch layer I have, since it's very sloppy. So I'm just trying to keep my important lines and straighten up anything that was really imprecise. Go back to May's reference. I'm just only sad that I'm not showing her awesome abdominals. Her hand is covering them, which is a shame. She's got awesome abs. Abdominals. Oh, hey, and I just remembered to actually ask you guys for some help. I just made Twitch affiliate with the last broadcast I did, and that's awesome. And I actually wanted to ask y'all's help with testing it out because I'm still kind of learning exactly how it works. So I'm wondering if anyone wants to try that subscribe thing. You can apparently, now that I'm an affiliate, subscribe to me, and it will, I think it'll split that subscription fee with Twitch and me, so I get a little kickback. So if you want to support me doing art, doing what I love, you can hit that subscribe button. Oh god, I sound so internet. But it's true. You can help me. And I think if you're like an Amazon Prime user, you can actually subscribe for free. But it still gives me a little kickback. So I just want to know how all that works. If anyone wants to hit subscribe so I can figure out what exactly that does, I would appreciate it. So right now when I drop out the lines, it still needs, whoa, what is our neck doing? Oh no. Let's put that back, shall we? Should definitely need some filling in here. But it's coming along. We're making it happen. Like any good art, it just takes time. And now I'm gonna go quiet while I'm drawing the face, because brain occupied with important detail. Brain processing. Ears also hard. He's got kind of the big head thing going on right now. I might have to trim it. I always end up with like these giant heads, and I blame you, Dragon Ball Z, because I used to draw so much Dragon Ball Z fan art, and I'd always start with this like giant circle head, and it just infected my art ever since those days back in high school, years and years ago. Oh, and see, now that I have a softer brush set to respond to my pressure, the pressure of my stylus, I can sit here and break up this very plastic hair with strands and a little lightness. Oh, I need to change my eraser though. What? That's the leftover from when I was painting on something with a little more texture before. I've got my eraser set on the, excuse me, on the same settings as my brush, basically. That way when I erase, it's not such a jarring difference. But yeah, I end up with so much bouffant hair thanks to Dragon Ball Z. He still loves it. I'm totally hyped about the new Brawly movie. Oh, no, I'm making the angry face, but luckily you can't see my face. My angry face. Still shaving off some of this big head. I like my dramatic anime hair. And now I'm just bringing in the main shapes of her hair strands because I'm going to need that later if I drop out the outline. Because I do want to hopefully have time to add some shading to this. We'll see. I always almost run out of time whenever I get to that step. Wow, where are these speckles from? I do not even remember making these speckles. What are you? You're not the boss of me, computer. I don't need a break. Oh, they're on the dress layer. How did you even happen? Erase those. So yeah, normally I would listen to this, but I'm gonna wait a little longer. I took a break before I got on, so I think good for a little while. We'll go through that later. It's my little program that tells me I've been sitting too long and I need to stretch. Otherwise, I will atrophy into the shape of a person hunched over a Cintiq, and this would be bad. Okay, still a little bit outlining to do. I cannot avoid the hands forever. I was going for this tension that she's kind of splaying her fingers in a martial arts-esque formation. I'm not sure what the technical term for that would be, but that's what she's doing. I'll have to ask my husband, who is, he doesn't practice anymore, but he did get a lot of training when he was younger. For now, I will call it Fighty Fist. Fighty fan hands. Kung Fu hands. And I figure she wraps her hands in this to help protect them, since she is a monk, and I think they can fight with weapons, but they do so much cool stuff unarmed. Like, my husband just started up a new Monk of the Sun Soul in our last game where I'm playing the Blood Hunter, and he's doing all this crazy crap, like plucking out arrows from the air and tossing them back at the archers. And at one point in a fight that we were in together, he just stopped playing around. He like threw his weapons down on the ground and just started wailing on people. Because he didn't feel like doing that from the beginning, the big show off. He and my Blood Hunter are actually best friends. They like trade philosophy about life all the time. Because Sun Soul monks are very much like beauty and life and excellence. Meanwhile, my guy is like, you're very loud and annoying, but you do bring up some good points. So they're a hilarious pair together. I can just imagine them sitting around having tea and discussing philosophy. And then heading off on adventures together where they bicker. Oh, and if you guys have any questions, please throw them up in the chat. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves too. I'm just here rambling like an insane person to myself, so please feel free to guide the discussion. Otherwise, I'll just continue to ramble. And it's gonna be a long ramble because I've still got an hour and 23 minutes. think normally I would try to, like, reference this hand wrapping a little more because it's just totally made up at this point, but don't have time with these shorter, quick sketch commissions. But it's definitely, I'm not liking the way it looks. Undo, undo, undo. I made it work in the other one, and now I'm like, how did I do that? I think I had it wrapped under her fingers. And the other problem is, I've got some perspective here on the hand from the way she's holding it. And when I do all these not thought out, what's the word, contour lines, it really messes up the perspective. So I gotta get these contour lines following the shape of her hand and not just it going every which way. That's a little better. It's so nice being able to do multiple undos now. Like, before I'd have to sit here and do the weird shortcut for step backwards. So I'm glad they finally just put multiple undos. Makes my life so much easier. So, and hey, if you play some D&D, you have full permission to ramble about your character in the chat as well. I'd love to hear about y'all's characters. I was just thinking how much I've really been enjoying it. Like, we've had some challenges this year with health stuff, and being able to just escape into D&D has really made our lives bearable. So I'm just happy I've got friends I can be a total utter geek with, and I got people online like you who are watching this now who are also geeks. And it just makes me happy. So ramble about y'all's stuff. I want to hear it. Although I may not be able to read some of it until later. Oh, I can't avoid fixing this flipper hand much longer either. Kung Fu fighty hands. I'm also trying to keep in mind that when I'm outlining and preserving those important lines for readability, that I'm also considering line weight so that not everything is uniform, because that helps give things depth and visual interest, visual variety. Except I can get caught up in doing this forever. This is very fun. It's kind of a holdover from my Art Nouveau pieces, because they always include really strong outlining and inking. Okay, I can't avoid the flipper hand. Let's see, I think she's got her fingers straight and her thumb tucked, but not into her, not under her hand, under her palm. Just kind of tucked against. Then the knuckles would be in perspective here. I always like to find the middle finger first because that's the most prominent knuckle on the hand. And the longest finger. There'd be some overlap here because of the perspective. I'm not going to say it's a perfect hand, but I think if I had more time I would probably again grab some references on this and try to get this looking proper. A trick that I usually like to do is I've got a webcam on this computer and I'll just do hand poses in the webcam and then use those for my pictures. It's a quick and easy way to do it. So there's a lot of like karate choppy sword pictures on my webcam's gallery. Kind of a BS hand, but it as long as it looks like a hand now instead of a flipper, I will be satisfied with it for now. I must let go of my perfectionism, and that's half of the lesson of these exercises where I'm giving myself a time limit to draw. Hey, Sonny. Always good to see you in the chat. Did you mean Sting, or did you mean sitting? Because now I'm thinking of the musician, but I'm not sure that's what you meant. Oh, STing. Ah, of course. Awesome. And I'm assuming you mean Exalted then. Since I think that's one of the... Is that a World of Darkness thing to call it Storyteller, or is that an Exalted thing? You know, I can't quite remember. Yay for watching art. It's always fun to get to come hop on this stream for a bit. It keeps me focused. I get really distracted otherwise. Okay, that's good to know. I haven't played Vampire in so long, since high school, that I couldn't remember if our game master was called the Storyteller then. And hey, Emma! It's good to see you in the chat. Yay! Now I don't feel like I'm going insane and rambling to the nothingness. Alright, let's get some wrappings on this hand, too. Even though I want to redo this other wrapping already. I know I can think these lines out a bit better than I did. Yeah, this stream is actually going to be a bit longer than I usually do these. So it's good for some company. Another good thing about having the lines in this all on one layer, I can sit here and select both the lines and the colors, which would be a pain in the butt before. But now I can sit here and select it all and make this head smaller. She's got this very large head. I've never heard game leader as a term before. That's interesting. Okay, I'm saving before Photoshop does anything. I think we can move on to Nansad. And I got an hour and 9 minutes. Okay. Can at least get an outline going for her. Maybe we'll actually have the time to put in some quick sketching, or rather shading. Oh, and of course, the question I like to ask you guys, what are you working on? Anything fun? Alright, okay. I'm gonna move on from May. See how she looks without her outlines. I like it. I can drop those outlines out now, I think. They were good guidelines, and I don't need them anymore. Okay, switching my rep over. I feel like she could go for some bracelets too. We'll see how I feel once I get some outline in here. She's got like this crazy thin waist going on, and yeah, I need to fix that. It's weird. It's very weird looking. So let's give this girl some more thick. There she goes. Now she can support her own body weight, hopefully. Maybe even a little more. I think soon I will actually be able to get back to streaming a old Exalted piece I've been working on forever. I started a character sheet for my Eclipse cast like ages ago, and I really need to get back to it. I had finally gotten to the part of her sheet where I was doing her expressions. And it's a good reference for when other artists are going to draw her. I'm trying to make her not as muscled as May, because May's the one who does all of the fighting according to the players. Like, Nansan's more of the pacifist. She doesn't like to hurt people. Oh no, I'm drawing on May again. She needs more muscles. But I can also bring in those muscles with shading too. Okay. Stop it. I'm gonna go back to the other one. I can do this. I can finish. Now this is an epic flipper hand. But I think I was going for something a little more elegant and less martial. So less tension in the hand here. Again, finding that knuckle. Too many lines from the undersketching throwing me off, so I gotta hide that for a minute while I figure out the mystery of this hand. I think I can group the fingers a little bit more. Like the pinky and the ring finger here. I'm gonna group those a little more because it's, I think, more graceful. Hey, Sam. You are just in time to watch me be driven insane by hand anatomy. Starbucks. They still have pumpkin coffee there, which is my favorite. Yeah, I think hands are almost everyone's enemy. Even the people who like to draw hands hate, like, not hate, but they just, hands are a constant thing that you have to practice because they're so complicated. It's that complex machinery of the body that I think our brains just have to work really hard to learn all those moving parts. And since she's less of a muscled character, I also want to kind of leave most of her musculature up to shading. If I can get there. Hopefully I'll get there. I've got 59 minutes left, so I think we'll be able to get some simple shading in. Oh gosh, and toes. Toes are like short fingers, and they're so weird. And if you mess them up, they'll be really claw-like and too long, or ugh. But yeah, I really need to sit with hands and feet and do a bunch of practice that way. Practice will help me memorize all those parts. And like, usually I would actually go back and take photo reference of the hands, but I'm trying to do it all by imagination so I can be faster. I couldn't find poses for this one in the time limit that I gave myself, so this is all like basically coming out of my brain. Actually, I think her midriff is showing, so I need to shorten this. Remember something about a midriff. This dress being a midriff dress. But yeah, sometimes you just cannot find the poses you want, no matter how much reference you've hoarded over the years. Are you working on anything fun today, Sam? Or anybody else? Feel free to share. I love you guys sharing your own art and stuff in the chat. It should be allowed. Feel free to toss your links up there. Yeah, reference is really tricky because sometimes you can't stick too close to it because there's camera distortion, and a lot of what we do as artists also is to try and create poses that exaggerate reality, so we have something that's very cool and energetic, and that sometimes means you definitely change what you see from your reference. Hey, good on you for studying, Emma. I have been actually kind of bad. I've been rusty. I've been kind of going from like one big project to the next without taking the time to study, and it definitely shows when I'm trying to sit here and build things from my imagination. So definitely gotta... Maybe I can make some Twitch time where I'm just sitting here using one of my favorite study tools, line of action, to do more gestures and anatomy studies, because they would really benefit me as an artist. And hey, maybe you guys would study along with me. It's this tool I love to use that has like a timer and it auto scrolls through poses for you. It's really, 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 really handy. Ooh, the moth picture. I can't wait to see that one done. That one was coming along so well. Let me see if I can type the line of action tool into the chat, because it's really just freaking awesome. I think it's, let's see, line hyphen of action.com. Pretty sure that's it. And you can even program the class session on there to show you just hands, or if you're practicing animal anatomy, it'll show you just animals. You can even select whether you want clothed models or dressed models if you need a safe for work image to study from. So it's highly recommend that tool. They're ran by donations, so they're a free tool. Okay, I need to get to Nansan's face before I run out of time here. So that's where everyone's going to connect with the characters first, so I always try to make sure I have that sorted. But yeah, Sam, you've been killing it with all the drawings lately. You go, girl. I actually need to finish some of my chapter covers too. Like, I've done the one and it's all super sketchy and I just never got back to it again. Part of my bad habit of making endless works in progress and starting endless projects. Oh yeah, Croaky Cafe. Yeah, I've seen that channel. It's brilliant. If you can't make it out to a sketch, like a live session yourself, that is the next best thing. I really, really, really like it. sure if I flipped this piece, everything here would start getting really skewed, and I would see exactly where all my anatomy is being made up by my brain. Which I will do if I have the time. See if I can give this a quick flip. And I think she's got the bouffant DBZ hair going on too. Or like Disney's Ariel hair. And again, can I just say that druids are freaking badasses? I really need to try out a druid some game. And they got it all. They can heal, turn into animals, they got ice knives. I still can't believe how many people, my friend's druid, she was a new player, I can't believe how many of the enemies she took out in our games. She was like the #1 enemy killer. It was awesome. And she's like, I'll turn into a bear. I'll throw some ice knives. And here I'm like, I Eldritch Blast it, yeah. Eldritch Blast, yeah. Granted, I love my Warlock, but I got a little jelly there of all the variations that the druids are capable of. Gonna be a part of your world. Actually try to make this look more like a feather now. It's a little weird. And the placement of it's maybe interfering with her jawline here. It's kind of weird. Do I want cool feather earring or do I want jawline? And yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about with druids. They just got something for every situation. It was very, very cool. Like, I don't know why I thought they weren't very good. Like, the last time I played before now was probably 3E. So I remember not being too impressed with them then. Like, they were just like, the nature guys. They're the dudes in your party who, like, have a pet and smoke weed. But they seem to have a lot more options now, I think. Besides just having a pet and smoking weed. let's find these major forms in the hair. And also give her some strands, some flyaways. Make this hair more convincing as hair. Oh, speaking of Dungeons and Dragons things, I finally, over Thanksgiving break, also got to catch up a little bit on Critical Role. I'm like only 7 episodes in now, but hey, that's better than before. I know I've got like, what, 40 episodes to catch up on? Whew, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy the fact that sometimes stuff happens in their game that I thought only happened to our group because we roll so bad. Or the enemies roll really good. Like what was it? They were fighting gnolls and this one gnoll just refused to die. It was so funny. I'm enjoying it a lot more now because it took a little while for me to like get into the campaign 2. But I'm enjoying it. So it'll be fun once I start learning more about their backstories, because I'm a total backstory whore. I love me some dramatic backstories, and I know that's coming, especially with, like, Caleb. I've seen enough fan art to have some of that spoiled for me. But it's all good, because the fan art's what got me into the show. Because I'm shallow, I'm basic like that. Good grief, is it 42 episodes? I'm never gonna get caught up. Oh my god. But I'm gonna keep trying. Eventually I'll be like, oh my god, did you guys see this thing happen? And y'all be like, yeah, we saw that like 10 years ago when the podcast first came on, Angela. God. You're so last year. Same thing happened with Dragon Age. I played that game like years after it first came out and I freaking loved it. And I was like, everybody, this is the best game ever. And they were like, yeah, we know, we played it. We played it years ago. Same thing happened with Mass Effect. I'm always behind the times with RPGs. Because I'm normally like, you know, like busy doing art shit. So by the time I have the urge to play a game, it's usually after I'm on a huge vacation, after finishing big projects, or I'm sick. So by the time I played Mass Effect, it was old news too, and that's another one of my favorites. Oh, it's just an amazing game. I spent like 30 hours just exploring the Citadel. But also, whenever I play those games, I've not seen for months. So it's a good thing I have a husband to report to everyone that I'm actually not dead. Because I get really involved in those. Let's see if I can put this feather here and have it not look like a weird thing coming out of her mouth still. And then we'll leave it for now. You can stay for now, feather. Okay. I'm trying to think what kind of jewelry. She needs something on her wrists. I think I intended to have wood beads, kind of like what May has. Maybe May made her with some wood beads. That'd be a very sweet gift. Oh, can't forget this hand. Can't avoid it forever. But I think I actually did a little better job with this one than leaving like a weird basic flipper. Placeholder flipper. What was she doing? I think I intended to have her spell casting with this hand, so she was making like some kind of elegant gesture. It's like beckoning. You make sure I actually included 5 fingers. You'd be surprised how often that happens. Where I'm like, I did perfect. Oh no, she has 3 fingers. Oh gosh. Okay, let's see. Yep. Angela will be practicing her hands very much after this stream. Because I've gotten so rusty. At least I got her thumb on the right side. That's something to celebrate. Because I think that happened a couple times when I was sketching this. I was like, where do thumbs go? They don't go that way. I think what it is the fingers are too long. Finger surgery, ah. Oh, that just looks weird. And they're definitely, definitely the perspective is doing weirdness. Perspective is weirdness. Okay, we're just gonna erase this. Ah, okay, I think I remember what I was trying to do was to fan out the fingers like she's gracefully offering a spell. Hey, and I got 33 minutes. Woohoo! And now I have to pause for a second while I confirm a thing, because I just paid for my space at JordanCon this year. So if any of you like Wheel of Time and are going to be in the neighborhood of Atlanta for JordanCon, I am going to be there. I just have to verify this transaction with my bank. So pause one moment, please. I actually need to go call in my bank because there is some weirdness. But here's what I got so far. I'm gonna take a break and go take care of this. Because I do not want weirdos on my account buying things. So yeah, we're gonna save. And I'm gonna stop for now and go call people's. The exciting things that happen when you're streaming live. So thanks for joining me so far, and hopefully I'll be back in a little bit to finish this off. The time that I have left is 30 minutes and 22 seconds. So I'm gonna call this at that, and maybe I'll be back later, hopefully. I'll talk to you guys later, and if not, have a nice night. So ta-ta for now. Thanks for tuning in.